Hello, my beautiful feather tribe. Welcome or welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen and I am thrilled to be doing another reading for you. It is actually the full moon today as I'm filming this, full moon in Gemini. So yeah, hopefully the messages are going to be especially on the nose and especially insightful. We shall see. So as you can probably see from the title of the reading as well, we are going to be looking at the future. So hopefully we'll get a sneak peek into what you are going to be moving towards or where the universe is guiding you next. And we're also going to try and get some more information about that as well. Just seeing and trying to figure out what you are being specifically guided to, what you can do to affect that situation, and why you are being led there. So that's what we are going to be focusing on today. But as always, we have to start with choosing the pile that you are going to be watching. So we have 4 piles to choose from. And as always, they go from left to right. So this is going to be pile number 1. Again, you get to choose the deck that you want to see in your reading. So this is the original Rider-Waite tarot deck, and this is going to be used in pile number 1's reading. So moving on to pile number 2, we have the Light Seers tarot. Moving on to pile number 3, we have the Santa Muerte tarot. And finally, pile number 4 and the Tarot de Luz. So this is what the piles look like, or the decks, I should say, look like. So hopefully you will feel a strong intuitive pull towards one specific deck. But if you feel a pull towards more than one deck, that is absolutely fine. You can watch as many piles as you wish. You can watch all of them if that's what you want to do. But just generally, it tends to be the case that one pile will speak to you the most, and there may be some additional little messages here and there in other piles as well, but most likely there is going to be one pile that speaks to your current circumstances the most accurately. So as always, this is a general reading. You guys already know to always listen to your own gut and intuition and see which messages feel like they resonate with your circumstances and with your situation. And if there is anything that doesn't resonate, then most likely this message is not for you, and you can just let it be. Don't try to make anything fit, if it doesn't fit. So just take what resonates and leave what doesn't, and hopefully this will be a very helpful reading for you to, prepare you for what's to come. So that's it. I'm going to leave you guys to choose your pile now, and whenever you are ready, you can go down into the description box or the comment section and click on the timestamp that you need that will take you to your chosen reading. So as always, happy choosing, and I will see you guys in just a bit. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the original Rider-Waite tarot deck, and we are going to be tapping into this one a bit later. First, we are going to start off with some oracle cards, as is the norm on my channel. So we don't have too much to go through, but nonetheless, hopefully these oracle cards will give us an inkling of what you are going through right now. So this is the sort of ground laying or the groundwork stage of the reading, where we tap into your current circumstances to see where you are right now, and sort of what is this preparation stage that you are in at this time for the sort of next stage of your journey. So hopefully you will see from this part of the reading whether this message is for you, or whether, you may want to choose another pile. So let's see. Okay, the first card out is Forge, Don't Follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Okay, the first card out. Okay, we also have Don Juan with the light attribute of spotlights your positive seductive qualities, and the shadow attribute as using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Okay. Wow. Okay. We also have Shark. And we have Cornucopia. With number 11. And finally, we have Full Moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. Okay. So let me tap into the energy and we will begin your reading. So pile number 1, the energy that I'm feeling from these cards is a very interesting one. Now, the center card is always one of the most sort of potent cards in a reading for me. Usually, not always, but usually, because it's like the focal point of all of the energy, drawing into one. And whenever the Shark card comes out, I always feel a certain sense of ruthlessness, because there's a real sort of motivation and drive and this deep-seated urge that I feel with the Shark energy. It's not necessarily a bad card. I don't want you to, get alarmed or be alarmed by the very sort of powerful image of the shark and the symbolism. But I'm not going to lie, there is something rather urgent about this energy. So I feel like you, my dear pile number 1, are feeling a very strong sense of desire towards something. And I feel like that desire is actually coming from a place of lack. And the reason why I feel that is because of this cornucopia card. I feel like you have your eye on something that you hope is going to bring you a lot of fulfillment. Now, this could be a certain position at work. This could be a relationship or, a person that you have your eye on, that you want to connect to. It could be a piece of property that you want to attain, or I don't know. It could be anything like material, which, if I'm honest, with the cornucopia card, I tend to get a more materialistic aspect, or that sort of craving or urge seems to be more like materialistic because of this cornucopia card. But I feel like ultimately the reason, as I said, is just fulfillment. And you may have a very strong desire, but not necessarily the skills or the path to take you to where you want to go. You just have that deep-seated emotion or that craving, but it's almost like you are hoping for some sort of map or some sort of guidance to take you there. And the reason why I feel like you are hoping for some sort of guidance is because of this card. Remember, this said, forge, don't follow, and pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. So I feel like it's almost like you feel like you have missed out on a certain set of skills to attain what it is that you want. Or it's almost like, okay, let's just take the example of a relationship. All right, okay, this is just the easiest thing that sort of comes to mind from these cards. So let's take a relationship scenario. I'm not saying that it has to be the case for all of you watching, but just as an example. So say that you have your eye on someone and that you would like to start a relationship with them, or you would like to get to know them more. Or maybe even if you don't have anyone specific on the horizon specifically, but you just want a relationship, you want a partner, okay? But you feel like you don't know how to get there. You have this image in your head that if you were to find a partner or find a relationship, then that would make you feel fulfilled, that would make you feel happy, it would make you, feel joyful and all of these positive emotions that you at this time feel like you are lacking. And I feel like the thing that you feel that is missing is that maybe you have never had a sort of relationship example in your life that would be, the representation of a healthy relationship dynamic. Maybe your own parents didn't have the best relationship, or maybe they split up, or maybe you only have one parent, or I don't know. I just feel like there's some sort of like in this relationship example, there could be like a dysfunctional family dynamic that you have experienced in your childhood, and so you feel like you have missed out on the sort of healthy dynamic example, and therefore you lack the necessary skills to get a healthy relationship yourself, or you don't have a very clear idea of what a healthy relationship would look like, or what you would have to do to find a partner to exist in a healthy relationship with. I feel with this Don Juan energy as well, it's like this is a very tricky energy. Again, it's not necessarily bad, but with the Don Juan energy, it's slightly selfish. And I'm not calling you selfish, but number one, I'm just calling this energy selfish, because the sort of Don Juan archetype, or the energy that I feel from this card, is that the archetype is one of going after what you want, following your desires, but maybe not necessarily giving anything back, from your side of things. Just wanting to sort of achieve your goal without choosing the means necessarily, or, without paying too much attention to what your actions will bring in consequences, not really thinking about consequences, just having that focal point of needing to satisfy that urge that you have. So again, I just feel like I'm sort of getting a bit tongue-tied here, but I just want to get this point across that I'm not saying that you are a selfish person. But the energy that I'm feeling here is that these cards are all sort of pointing towards that very strong urge or desire that you have, of finding this sense of fulfillment or sense of joy that you feel that is lacking in your life, but you just don't know how to get there. And finally, we have this full moon in Sagittarius card with look at the bigger picture. And I feel like the reason why this is here is because I get the sense that you may be reminded at this time, there may be little bits of symbols or messages here and there that the universe may be trying to send your way, where you could find enjoyment and fulfillment in your life as it is right now. Especially with like these two cards together, I feel like it's almost like you are being given, sorry, I know it's very reflective, so again, probably not the easiest to, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it very well. It's not the easiest to like get into this mindset and sort of bring yourself out of this energy of lack that you feel. But I do feel like the universe is trying to sort of put you in situations or send you these little signals where you are already very abundant in your life at this time as it is right now. Even though you may be feeling like you are missing out on something very, very important to you, or you are lacking something very important to you. So that's what I feel like this full moon in Sagittarius card is representing. But at the same time, again, it could also just tie into this cornucopia card of this vision that you have, or this thing that you ultimately desire the most, feeling like that is going to complete the sort of puzzle picture for you. So yeah, this card sort of ties into the reading in two ways. But that's the sort of overall energy that I feel. So if you are resonating with this sense of restlessness and urgency and feeling this very strong pull or desire towards something, feeling like you are severely lacking or missing something in your life, and you have no idea how to get there, but you just feel like you desperately want to attain. Again, whether this is a job, whether this is a lifestyle, whether this is a new home, a new relationship, a new car, you know, whatever this is. If you resonate with this, then this is most likely your reading, pile number one. So now that we have, you know, laid the foundation for the reading, we can get into the tarot portion of the reading. So we're going to look at three different sort of questions. First, we're going to see what it is that you are being guided towards, what the universe is trying to sort of, or where the universe is trying to lead you next. Then we are going to see what you can do to affect the outcome of where you are being led. And finally, we're going to see what is the purpose of you being led there, or why that is going to be your next sort of chapter. So let's see. First, what are you being guided towards? Okay, we have the Magician in reverse and the King of Wands. The Ace of Wands is at the bottom there. So, okay, can I get one more though? Can we get one more card for what pile one is being guided towards? Where pile one is being led to next? Okay, we get two cards. Interesting that they landed on the Don Juan card with the Lovers in reverse, no less. Okay, so we have the Lovers in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles. So you have two major arcana. Okay, the bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles right now. So we have two major arcana and two court cards. Kind of an interesting sort of parallel or mirroring there. Okay, let's move on to what you can do to affect the situation or affect the outcome. What can pile one do to affect the outcome of where they are being led? What can pile one do to affect the outcome of where they are being led? Okay, we have the Seven of Cups. The High Priestess is at the bottom. A few more cards, please. Okay. We have the Hermit. Okay, the Six of Cups is at the bottom. Actually, I think I'm happy with that. We can move on to the final question, which is why you are being led there, or what is the purpose of this next chapter? Okay, interesting. We have the Ten of Swords and the World. The Page of Swords is at the bottom. Let me see if I want another card for this. Can we get one more card, please? Okay, thank you. And we got the Queen of Swords, with the Hierophant being the underlying energy here. Okay. So let's dive into these cards. So the first question that we are looking at is where are you being guided next, or where the universe is trying to take you next? And the two cards that we got out first were the Magician in reverse and the King of Wands. Now, what I feel straight off the bat with these two cards is a lot of like taking control energy. I mean, especially with the King of Wands, because this is a very sort of masculine, a very fiery, a very driven, and a very authoritative sort of energy. This is a very hands-on energy. It's an energy of not being afraid to take the lead and step up to this higher position of taking matters into your own hands and doing what needs to be done. And with the Magician in reverse here, this is a very clear indication to me of like being put in a position where you need to take control and you need to take responsibility for all of the things that you feel that are not right in your life, that are not the way that you want them to be. Because the Magician in reverse is a card of, you know, not really having that sense of belief in yourself, of, again, having what it takes to make your dreams come true, having what it takes to manifest your ultimate desires. Remember, we had this point of you feeling like you don't have the necessary tools. I think we actually talked about that with this card specifically, where you feel like you may have lacked role models or examples, so you feel like you don't have the necessary skills yourself. But I feel like with the King of Wands being right next to this energy of lacking self-belief and feeling like you maybe don't really feel in control, or you don't see yourself as this powerful, capable leader and person in charge of your own life. I feel like this is sort of you stepping into that role yourself, or stepping into this role of the leader that, again, you wish that you had, or that you feel like you have lacked in your life, and learning to be that for yourself, if that makes any sense. So this is almost like you being put in a position where you get to prove to yourself, or where you get to convince yourself and see how capable you actually are in sort of taking matters into your own hands. So I actually feel like this is a very powerful energy here, but I do also want to point out that this is by no means an energy that is going to be necessarily easy to experience or go through, because I do feel like it's going to push your buttons a bit, especially with the Magician in reverse card. I do feel like there is going to be some button pushing, but again, I feel like it's necessary to put you into this position of, you know, feeling like, okay, I need to do something about this. This is uncomfortable enough for me now that I don't want to keep being in that cycle. I don't want to be in the position of the victim anymore. And even though I know that it may be a very harsh expression, you know, being in that mindset of like victimhood, or like you don't have any power against the situation, but in truth, I feel like you do. And so I feel like you are going to be put in a position where it's almost impossible for you to keep being in that space any longer without, doing something about it, without changing something about it. So I feel like that's also why these two cards are here as well. We have the Lovers in reverse, and we have the the Knight of Pentacles. And what I'm feeling with these two cards is that I feel like you are going to find yourself in a certain place or in circumstances where you are able to start taking these tiny little steps away from this mindset of feeling lack, feeling like you don't have something that would make you feel complete, something, very, very important to you emotionally that is lacking, right? You are going to sort of turn your back on that in a way and start taking the necessary steps to work towards a better place, a better mindset. So I love that both of these cards actually that we have, both of these court cards are coming out as very masculine energies, because masculine energy is all about movement. It's all about taking action. It's all about taking control and initiative. And so this is telling me that you are going to start changing things around. You are going to start creating waves and sort of getting yourself out of the rut that you are feeling at this time, which is keeping you in that stuck position of helplessness or powerlessness, and just sort of feeling like you are at the mercy of your childhood conditions or your upbringing or whatever sort of experiences you have gone through in the past that has led you to feel like you can't get to where you want to get to, So I actually really love that energy, because this is some serious pattern breaking, some serious cycle breaking. And I'm also saying that because of all of the major arcana that you have. In every single mini pile of the cards that we have here, you have major arcana cards. And let's not forget about the bottom energy as well, which was the Hierophant, right? And the Hierophant is all about higher learning. It's about connecting to a deeper sense of truth, but it's also about traditions and patterns and sort of things being done the same way and being passed down from generation to generation. And so I feel like with you, pile number one, this is some serious cycle breaking, some serious pattern breaking. We have the World card over here, so again, I'm not going to rush ahead, but it's kind of evident to me that you are doing some serious changing here, pile number one, changing for the better. Now, another thing that I before we move on, I want to mention about this Knight of Pentacles and why I love that this card is here is that the Knight of Pentacles is also a card of learning, of developing, of progressing, even though the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all of the knights, and all of his moves are very deliberate and they take time because they are so deliberate, because they are so thought through and sort of planned and organized. I feel like you are going to be learning a lot about yourself, about your own capabilities, but also just maybe aspects of what would truly make you happy. And sort of learning how to take yourself to where you want to go to as you go down the path. So sort of learning as you go and picking stuff up left and right. And I feel like this is such an amazing energy because it's not overwhelming. And again, that's why I really love that this card is here, because I feel like this is one of those energies of like, yes, you are being pushed into a position which may be a bit uncomfortable for you, but at the same time, it's something that you can handle because of this Knight of Pentacles energy here. So it's almost like you are being very gently pushed into this sort of transformative energy where, you know, you are truly changing things for yourself and breaking these cycles or breaking these patterns that have created this sense of lack in the first place. But yeah, let's see what you can do to affect the outcome of the situation that you are being put in or led to. And we have the Seven of Cups as the first card out. If it would focus. Okay, there we go. So the Seven of Cups, and we also have the Hermit. So another major arcana card, as I said. Now, what I'm feeling with these cards is that, especially with the Seven of Cups is a card of fantasy. It's a card of dreams. It's a card of sometimes illusion as well. But with this card in your specific reading, pile number one, I feel like this is talking about sort of your true wish fulfillment, what it is, or what the vision of your ultimate joy and happiness and contentment would be like. And so I feel like what Spirit is trying to say here with this card is that you might really want to consider very, very carefully what it is that you actually want and why it is that you actually want this. I mean, we have the Hermit card here. The Hermit is all about like this deeper knowledge, this inner wisdom that stems from deep inside of you. This is that soul wisdom that you need to tap into and access. And it takes a lot of dedication to get to that place. It takes a lot of self-restraint and sort of isolation and to, you know, turning everything outside of you off so that you could focus on that little teeny tiny voice inside of you that is there to guide you to your sort of ultimate desires or your soul's truth, so to say. And so I feel like what this is saying is that, you know, be very careful or very deliberate, I should say, with what it is that you desire, and really dive deep into the reason behind what it is that you desire. Because I feel like with the Hermit being here, there could be a certain sort of hidden truth or something deeper that is buried behind the vision that you feel that you have, or that, you know, this cornucopia energy of what it is that you want, this thing that you feel would make you truly happy if you got this. I feel like there is a deeper sort of a deeper background to whatever this desire is for you, or wherever this urgency is stemming from. And I feel like it may actually surprise you that the thing that you feel right now that you so desperately want, that would be the answer to all of your problems, or whatever you feel that is lacking for you. I feel like the reason behind it is actually something completely different. And the thing that you are yearning for right now is only going to offer you like a temporary sense of relief, or it's one of those things where, you know, you think that you want something right now and you may be craving it so badly, but once you get it, you actually feel like, yes, you may be happy to have gotten it, but at the same time, you don't feel that sense of satisfaction that you thought it was going to give you, you know? So I almost feel like it might be somewhat illusionary or fantastical in that sense, of, you know, the thing that you are desiring. And so what you can do to actually get what it is that you truly, truly want is to dive into, first of all, your own inner voice and really tap into what it is that you actually want, which I feel, again, is actually going to be different from the thing that you are desiring. Or at least for a lot of you, I feel like the thing that would truly make you happy is actually something different than what you think it is at this time. So yeah, some soul searching and really getting the answers, getting that clarity, finding your true North Star, right? As we see in the lantern with the Hermit, finding your true North Star. That is something that you can focus on to actually, you know, get to where you want to go. And finally, we have these 3 cards over here, which are talking about why you are being led to this place that you are being guided to next on your journey. And I mean, the first 2 cards that we got were the 10 of Swords, which is a very dreaded card for a lot of people, even though, sorry if this would again focus, even though it's not actually a bad card per se. I mean, it's not necessarily a, you know, like a very jolly and happy card, but at the same time, it's a very necessary card, and it ultimately leads to better things. We also have the World card here, again, if it would focus. So the last major arcana card. You also got this. And finally, you have the Queen of Swords. Now, these 2 cards, and I feel like it's very telling that they came out together, are talking about major, major endings, especially with the 10 of Swords right here. This is something that is sort of done serving you, that is actually keeping you stuck, that is actually holding you back. And, you know, it's just one of those things that isn't necessary. And with the World, this is just a major, major cycle sort of reaching its end, or you becoming ready or being already ready to move to the next stage of your life. And so I feel like the answer to this question is actually a very sort of straightforward one. The reason why you are being led to this place where, you know, you are breaking these cycles and where you are sort of taking matters into your own hands and finding this sense of strength and finding this sense of power within you, is because some of these beliefs, and because this is a sword card, this is talking about your mindset or something that you believe to be true, your thoughts, you know, things that are revolving around in your head, that are driving your actions, but that, again, may actually be, you know, stabbing you in the back, like, not necessarily, but what's the word? Literally, you know, just things that are actually sabotaging you. So these thoughts that you have held on to, they are holding you back. And so I feel like it's time to leave those things behind. It's time to change the way you see yourself, the way you perceive your future, or again, your vision for your life. It's time to step up in that department. And I love that the Queen of Swords is the last card that you got out, because the Queen of Swords is the ultimate court card for clarity, for understanding, for like absolute truth. She sees things so clearly that there is no sort of BSing her, there is no confusing her. She sees through everything, and she knows what's real. And I love that, like, this is probably like the best representation of that, because you can see the clouds that are behind her and how she can see above the clouds. So she can see the bright, clear blue sky, and she knows what is ahead. She, you know, she sees the whole picture. She sees the bigger picture, right? The energy that we had over here. And this is something that the universe may be sort of, again, as I said, guiding you towards already, but you may be missing some aspects of it because of this sort of blinding urge or desire that you have. And again, this is in no way a criticism. This is just that current energy that you are in. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like the universe is trying to lead you someplace which would serve your highest good in a better way. And so I love that there is this sort of shift that is taking place for you, and that there is also this like powering up, because again, the Queen of Swords is also a very powerful energy, you know, very powerful. And she's also very independent, which is again sort of interesting that we are getting that sort of energy here, which again I was already talking about with the masculine energy, with the Knight and the King, where you are sort of taking initiative, right? So to sort of, you know, pull the reading together, I feel like pile number one, you are in for a ride, and I feel like this is a place of like ultimate you sort of stepping up to the potential that is there within you, and you are just sort of being shown that it is there, and you are finding this sense of like self-assurance to actually fulfill and find that sort of sense of fulfillment from your life. Do something about the things that you don't like and that you don't want in your life, and really sort of clear the space and find the focal point of what is truly driving your actions at this time. So a lot of clarity coming in for you, pile number one, and I love that for you. But we're going to close the reading out with some oracle cards. This is the Lantern Oracle. So let's see if we can get any last pieces of advice for my beautiful pile number one. Can we get some advice for pile number one to close this reading out? What is it that pile number one needs to hear right now? Oh. Okay. So, oh, you have two cards. Okay, we have, the first card out is number 40 with inner integration. There we go. Okay, and it says, there is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. Okay, I kind of love it. There are several words on this card that are very much confirming the reading and that are tying into everything that we have been talking about beautifully. Especially that fulfillment energy and the inner wild with the shark, right? With that like deep-seated urge that I was talking about. It is somewhat animalistic, right? So I feel like it's sort of very beautifully playing into everything. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to like, you know, keep dragging this reading on for too long, but I just feel like this is a beautiful message of, you know, really tying in and finding that wholesome aspect of, you know, what sort of life is throwing on our path, and how we have the capabilities to actually be a part of that and play a specific role in that, right? And we also have number 35, presence of absence. Hold what is absent in the presence of your love. Wow. Okay. So that is definitely talking about that lack aspect. And And again, I feel like this is a beautiful message of, like, it's exactly the type of thing that I was talking about with these two cards here, with this cornucopia and look at the bigger picture, where I was saying that I feel like the universe is trying to remind you of all of the things that you already have that are abundant in your life right now. Sorry, I don't know whether you'll be able to. Anyway, you already saw the cards, but I just wanted to sort of go over that aspect one more time, because I feel like that's exactly what this oracle card is sort of pointing towards. Hold what is absent in the presence of your love. So even though there is lack, if you focus on like the positive aspect or the love aspect and finding the good in what you have right now, then I feel like it's sort of the remedy or the healing, the necessary healing tool that you need at this time. And on the bottom of the deck we have number 6, trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Yep, and I feel like this trickster energy is actually, again, talking about this desire that is in you, that, again, you may be trusting or you may be believing right now that you need it, or like it's going to create this ultimate fulfillment, but in reality, it might not actually do that for you. And so that's why this hermit energy of, you know, like tapping into what it is that you truly want is going to help you out with that, or is going to help you see past that. Okay, I hope that it didn't get too confusing because sometimes these readings can get a bit confusing, but hopefully everything made sense to you if this was your message, and hopefully you got what you needed to get from this. So if that's the case, I would love to hear from you, pile number 1. Please let me know in the comment section that you chose this pile and that it spoke to you. Or if you don't want to leave a comment, you can just give me a thumbs up as well. You know, that would let me know that this resonated. And I truly, truly appreciate all of your feedback. Yeah, again, let me know how you like this new setup. Let me know how the reading resonated, all of that. I would love, love, love to hear from you. But that's it. I'm not going to draw this out any longer. So if you don't want to watch any more piles, then just thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next readings very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Light Seers Tarot, and we are going to be diving into the messages in a second. But right now, you may already know how this goes if you have seen my previous videos. We are going to focus on the oracle card portion first, and we're going to see what it is that you are currently dealing with, what are your current circumstances that are sort of preparing you for what's to come. So hopefully when we get these messages out, you will be able to understand whether this pile is for you or whether you may want to choose another pile. So let's see. The first card out is Lost Lands, Soul Memories and Gifts. You've done this before. Hopefully you'll be able to see it okay, because these are very, very, very bright cards. Okay. So we also have Artist, with the light attributes being expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. And the shadow attributes being using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. There we go. We have the Hawk energy. And next card out is number 19, Rest and Rejuvenation. And number 19 reduces down to number 10 or number 1, which is cyclical energy. And finally, we have the blue moon card, Believe in the Impossible. A very powerful card. Okay, so I'm just going to take a second to tap into the energy of these cards and see what I feel for you, pile number 2. So, pile number 2. I feel like at this time you may be trying to make sense of what it is that you are meant to be doing with your life, or what it is that everything that you are feeling and everything that you are experiencing and have experienced, what is it all for? I kind of feel like there is an element of just sort of being a bit lost at this time and trying to comprehend or trying to receive a sort of a deeper understanding, something that would truly resonate with you on a soul level, something that would make you feel like you have a sense of purpose, like you know what you need to do now. And the thing that I'm feeling here is that you may actually have a lot of very specific gifts that are more of like the spiritual nature, or more of just out of the ordinary is what I want to say. And I feel that especially with these 2 cards, with this blue moon and the this lost lands, I feel like you have access to certain information or just certain knowledge that maybe isn't as easily accessible to other people. It's easier for you to tap into this deeper wisdom or insight. And especially with this artist card as well, again, as it says, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, right? So I kind of feel like you have this side of you that is so like magnificent and that is so powerful in communicating certain pieces of information that would truly inspire other people, that would truly help other people. Even if it's not something that you feel is necessarily that special or groundbreaking, but I feel like it is. And I feel like you have very specific gifts or talents or tools, skills that you possess sort of naturally, that you haven't even had to like learn or anything, but that you just naturally have, that enable you to express that knowledge so that it actually reaches other people in a very profound way. Because the artist archetype is nothing to like take very lightly. And as I said, the blue moon energy is a special sort of energy too. It's something that is rare. It's something that doesn't happen very often, right? It's something out of the ordinary. And I feel like, again, because of this Lost Lands card, which says you've done this before, so it's something that you have specifically been sort of trained in or trained for. And it's not a coincidence that the gifts and skills that you have, that you maybe not that you are maybe not valuing that much yourself, or you may not see the specialness that they are, or that they have. It's no coincidence that those gifts have been given specifically to you, and the way that you are able to express yourself and express this insight, like what I'm trying to get across here is that the way that you deliver these messages is very unique to you, and it's not like no one else can deliver this information the way that you can. And that's why you are given these specific gifts, whatever they are, right? However you sort of express yourself, or however you inspire people. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an artistic outlet per se. It can be, but it can also just be the way that you talk to other people, the way that you express yourself verbally when you have like a very deep or meaningful chat with someone, or even when you just express your opinions, or the way that you see the world, your perspectives, right? With this hawk energy, I feel like there is something that you see very clearly, or something that you are able to notice and sort of penetrate through, that other people are not able to see. But for you, it's almost like it's very obvious. And so that's why you may not see that it's actually special, that it's actually valuable. But I feel like there is a certain element of like distancing that has happened, or even something that you were just not feeling maybe necessarily connected to that side of yourself. And that's why you feel the sense of being lost. That's why you feel like you don't understand what it is that you're meant to be doing. And I feel like that's why this rest and rejuvenation card is here as well, because I feel like one of the ways that you can actually understand it, or one of the ways that you can more easily connect to that side of yourself, is through meditation, or is through sort of like spiritual practices, which help you to sort of dial everything down and really get into a quiet space and tap into a more sort of special side of yourself, right? That maybe isn't able to come through when there is a lot of noise or there is a lot of action around you. But at the same time, with this rest and rejuvenation, I'm also feeling like life may be somewhat slow right now. And I feel like it's slow very deliberately, or there is a very concrete reason why things are not necessarily, happening around you, or why things may feel like they are slow, or like you are not necessarily seeing too many results, or seeing too many symbols or messages or guidance on like what you should be doing. And I feel like that's what you are desperately looking for, but you're not able to find it. And I feel like the reason why you are not finding it is because it is actually already inside you, but you just need to get in touch with that aspect of you. You just need to sort of get into that quiet space where you can connect with yourself and tap into yourself and sort of find that intuitive stream where you are not necessarily thinking too much about things. Because right now I feel like you are very much in your head. Again, I'm again picking out this whole card because we have the air element represented here. And the air element is very much one of mind and thoughts and just like processes that are very mental, right? And I feel like that may be the place where you are sort of getting stuck right now. Whereas this artist energy, which tells me that, again, this is something that is sort of inherently in you. This is something that needs to come from the soul, it needs to come from a deeper side of you, not from your mind, right? This inspiration and all of that occurs in the sacral chakra, and the expression part comes from the solar plexus chakra, right? So these are all like these deeper energetic spaces or centers that we have. And so I feel like that's really what you need to sort of tap into and allow yourself to just create, or to get yourself in that creative space so that you could, again, get in touch with the information that you need. And maybe the thing that is also like going to sort of lead you on the right path is just getting in touch with that feeling. It may not actually, how can I say it? It may not actually be like a certain sort of information or knowledge necessarily that you can like analyze or comprehend mentally. It's just something that you may feel, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm actually explaining it in the best way, but I feel like you need to get into your feeling aspects more and get in touch with that sort of knowing that comes from like your gut or from your deeper chakras, right? Hopefully that that came across in an understandable way. But that's what I feel for you, pile number 2. So it's kind of a tricky place to be in, but I also feel like it's a very necessary place, or yeah, I just feel like there is a very important reason why you are here at this time. Anyway, if this resonated for you, pile number 2, then please make sure to keep on watching, because we're going to be diving into the tarot cards now that you chose. So with the tarot cards, we're going to dive into the situation a bit deeper, and we're going to see where you are being guided to next. So what all of this energy is preparing you for. We're then going to see what you can do to affect the outcome of the situation. And finally, we're going to see why all of this is happening. Even though I kind of feel like I already tapped into the why part, somewhat like intuitively, we can still see whether we get some additional information through the tarot cards, or, you know, what we can find out. So let's see where you are being guided to next. Where's the universe guiding you towards, or where's the universe taking you? The first card out is the Emperor in reverse. Let's see what else we can get. Where is pile 2 being guided to? Where? Okay. 2 of Swords. Knight of Cups reversed. Okay, can I get one more card? Okay, thank you. And the Lovers. So, oh, interesting. The underlying energy is the 6 of Swords in reverse. Okay. I'm going to show you the other cards afterwards as well. So let's look at what you can do to affect the outcome. What can pile 2 do? Okay, we're continuing with the Major Arcana. So as I said, this is big energy. This is very important and significant energy. And clearly we can see that with all of the Major Arcana here. Can I get one more? Or a few more? Okay. We have the Empress and we have the 6 of Pentacles. And the Page of Cups as the underlying energy. Again, not surprised to see this energy here. Okay, and finally, why? Okay, couldn't even finish that. We have the 8 of Cups in reverse. Again, I'm going to show you all the cards afterwards. Why are pile 2 being led? Why are pile 2 being led to where they are being guided next? What is the purpose of their next chapter? Okay. We also have the 10 of Wands. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna show you the cards as we are talking about them. Otherwise, it's just gonna take too much time. But we also have Justice. Okay, so the underlying energy that we have is the Page of Pentacles. So that's the underlying energy of your reading. Okay, so let's get into these cards, shall we? So let's start with where you are being led next. The first card out that we got is the Emperor in reverse. This is a card of Aries and a card of Major Arcana. The next card out that we got is the Two of Swords upright. And the final card is another Major Arcana card, the Lovers, which is a card of Gemini. So, the way that I'm seeing this energy, pile number 2, is that the place where you are being led is one that you are not going to be able to, as I said, comprehend mentally. That's why this Two of Swords card is here. And that's why the Emperor is coming out in reverse. Because the Emperor energy is one of being in control, is one of dominating the situation, of creating hierarchy, creating structure, creating discipline, creating a sense of boundaries or rules to adhere to, right? This is a very, very controlling energy. But as I said, I feel like for you to be able to get in touch with what you actually need to express to people, what you actually need to get out of you, that is not something that you are able to comprehend mentally, right? This is not something that is going to make sense to you on a rational level. And so that's why you are going to be put in a position where you sort of have to take a step back or sort of get out of your own head. Because the more you try to make sense of things, the more confused you are going to get, the more difficult and sort of, how should I say, the more at a crossroads you are going to feel with the Two of Swords here. So don't try and make sense of sort of your purpose or why things are happening the way that they are happening, what is it all for, etc., etc. Now we have the Lovers card here. And the Lovers card is like originally known as the Choice card, but I feel like this at this time is talking about those deeper chakras of feeling that I was telling you, that I was, talking about, where I feel like you are going to receive the answers that you are seeking. And it's not going to be like a eureka moment or something that is going to be almost like this light bulb going off. It's going to be a sense of knowing, and it's going to be this deep inner knowing that you may not be able to explain with words, right? But I feel like this is that sense of connection that I was feeling that you really need to tap into within yourself, where that sort of understanding or finding that realization or finding that sense of purpose, finding that deeper meaning is going to come from. And so I feel like in a way, with both of those cards, because the Two of Swords can also be a card of decision. So with both of these cards coming out as like the element of choice being present here, I feel like it needs to be your choice or your decision to surrender to where you are being sort of guided. And the reason why the surrendering element is so important here is because you don't have control, and it may be something that scares you. It may be something that is like completely foreign to you, or something that is just super, super uncomfortable. And I mean, even though it is like a human condition to want to make sense of things and to want to, be on top of things and really be in control of our own lives. But in saying that, there are some people who handle like being in flow and just trusting life a lot more easily than other people do. And I feel like that is something that you really need to sort of learn, because I feel like the less you are sort of mentally in control, or the less you mentally try to analyze everything and, grab hold of the situations that you are in, the more confused you are going to get. Whereas all of the information that you need is like instinctually already there, right? Again, those like lower chakras that I was talking about, I feel like those are actually like a gold mine for you, but you just need to tap into those. You just need to access those, because those are all the sort of guidance and assurance that you need. Again, remember, this Lost Lands card, you've done this before, and soul memories and gifts, right? So this is something that you were already born with. This is something that was given to you for you to use in this lifetime, because it's vital, it's crucial to what it is that you're supposed to do here. And again, I just want to sort of reiterate that it doesn't have to be something that you do as a job or profession. It doesn't have to be something like major or something that you sort of become known for. It can be something that you just sort of do, or something that you just enjoy doing, or it can be just like an aspect of your personality. But it just has a profound way of like talking to other people, or speaking to a deeper part of other people too. You know, it really touches other people, if that makes sense. And so I feel like that's why we also have these two cards over here. We have the Empress as the first card out. A very beautiful and very, very abundant energy. Very creative energy as well. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Now, these two cards are talking about what you can do to affect the outcome of where you are being led, right? And so what these two cards are saying to me is that all you really need to do is express yourself and share that with other people, right? The Empress card is all about your creativity, your self-expression, just sort of being the true version of you and allowing that to like bloom and come forward and really be seen, right? And like really reveling in it, because the Empress is very much like a sensory card. The Empress feels, the Empress, you know, really enjoys their sensuality and all that they experience and all of their emotions and everything. She just lets it flow and sort of pour out of herself, and she trusts that what she gives life to, or what is coming out from inside of her, is something abundant, is something worth sharing, it's something worth giving birth to in like a metaphorical sense, or you know. So she knows what she's worth, she knows what she's capable of, and she knows that whatever it is that is trying to come out of her is going to be fruitful, and it's going to be part of a bigger system, a bigger plan. It's going to be a vital part of, you know, keeping things going, keeping things flowing. And with the Six of Pentacles, this is just that element of, you know, being in the process of give and take. And I feel like because you are in this position where you have these gifts, that means that you are also in this position of needing to share them, right? And so really these cards that's really all that they're saying. So it's kind of like a straightforward message here, but the best way that you can make use of this situation and the best way that you can affect the outcome, right, where you are sort of being taken out of control and being pushed into this mode of surrender and feeling, is to embrace it. Let the feelings, let the emotions flow, and trust what is coming out from you, right? Trust the sort of the deeper knowing that you feel, that you are given, and express it with confidence, because the Empress is very confident. The Empress doesn't, you know, hesitate or doesn't question what her value is and whether what she has to offer is actually something that other people need or want. She just does it because it feels so natural to her, right? And because she wants to like give and share her abundance. And again, I love that we're getting all of these like very very powerful and very, very abundant cards here, because again, it tells me that you do have something valuable to share. Even though at this time I feel like you may not actually understand it or see it that way yourself. But again, you don't actually need to like mentally understand it. You just need to be in that feeling space of allowing those things to come forward and having the courage to share them. And finally, we have these three cards here, which are saying, or which are talking about the reason why you are being led to this space. And the first card out that we got was the Eight of Cups in reverse. We also have the Ten of Wands. And we have Justice, which is a card of Libra. Oh, sorry, I don't think I mentioned, but the Empress is a card of Venus. So, you know, Venusian energy can talk to, or can refer to both Libra and Taurus. And this Justice card, as I said, is Libra energy. And so, yeah, we have quite a lot of air energy here. So that's interesting. But coming back to these three cards here. Actually, I'm going to put those over here like this. So the reason why you are being led there, I'm just going to start with these two cards first, is because I feel like you are holding on to a sense of like unfulfillment, or, you know, feeling like something is missing. And you are sort of carrying that around you, or it's something that is weighing you down. It's something that is like really burdening you, right? With the Ten of Wands. This is heavy energy. This is something that is like slowing you down, weighing you down, and that doesn't actually have to accompany you any longer. It doesn't add any value to your life or to your experience. And with the Eight of Cups especially, this is a card of sort of sticking to something that isn't really doing anything for you. And so I feel like with this Eight of Cups, this is the energy of like you trying to figure out what it is that is missing, or trying to figure out sort of your place in the world, right? That's that feeling of like being lost, or like you don't really know what it's all for. It's all of that energy that we were talking about previously. And being in that state is something that is really, really slowing you down and keeping you stuck. And I feel like you really need to sort of, again, break out of that draining energy, because it's draining, like, it's draining you mentally more than anything, but I feel like it's also draining you emotionally. And I feel like that's why this Justice card is here, because Justice is all about setting balance to things, bringing things back into equilibrium, setting things right. And that is truly what is needed for the sort of true reason of your existence to come out, right, to emerge. And so this is why this card is here. And again, because this is a card of major arcana, it's telling me that this is the universe sort of getting involved and sort of taking over the reins and leading you to where you need to go, or shaping your reality so that you could get to where your soul ultimately wants to get to, right? And so this is that energy of like setting things right, basically. Because I feel like operating from that like Eight of Cups energy and that Ten of Wands energy of, you know, where just like trying to find your place or forcing your way to create a sense of fulfillment, or trying to make sense of that purpose that you are seeking, I feel like it's not taking you where you need to go, and it's just, it's kind of doing the opposite. It's like slowing you down. So yeah, I feel like we have sort of covered this aspect pretty well. And just as the last energy really with the Page of Pentacles, I feel like this is beautifully summing up this energy of like needing to become sort of the student, needing to open your mind up to a new way of approaching something and allowing something to take root, right? Because it's, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but there is a vine, or yeah, it's like a root that is sort of going into the ground that is attached to this pentacle here. So it's like planting this new seed, and I feel like you are actually the seed of like inspiration and of new understanding to other people, but you sort of have to open yourself up to that by like stepping down from that place of trying to control everything, right? So becoming the student again and letting yourself be led to where you need to go. So, okay. That's it for the main reading, but let's close the reading out with some oracle cards as well. So we are going to get some messages from the Lantern Oracle and hopefully get some advice for you. So can we get some last pieces of advice for pile number 2? Can we get some last pieces of advice for pile number 2 to close out their reading? Okay. We have number 26, which reduces down to 8. Forgiveness. Hurt blocks our light. Okay. So it's interesting though, because I'm kind of being reminded with this oracle card of this 8 of Cups energy once again, which is sort of saying that there is some sort of emotional soft spot or sore spot, I should say, that I feel like is very much active at this time, and that is not allowing you to get in touch with this deeper knowing that is inside of you. As I said, like this is that emotional drain, right, that I was talking about. And I feel like it's something that is like blocking your getting in contact with those deeper feelings, right, that would actually drive you instinctually to what you need to do. At the bottom we have broken dreams with number 23, which reduces down to 5. Only you can accept or reject your dreams. So this is the underlying energy, but let's see if we can get one more message for you to close the reading out. Okay, beautiful. So we have number 32, which again reduces down to 5. So there is that energy of like change being here. Also remember we had that 19, which is cyclical energy of like beginnings and endings, that type of cycle. But we have eternal gatekeeper, acknowledge, assert, and protect what is right for you. Ooh, I love this. I absolutely love this. And I especially love the word assert in this, because I do feel like there is this element of needing to express yourself fiercely and courageously, not holding back on what it is that you feel inside you. That is this, as I said, this gold mine, this source, the source of your gift, right? Acknowledge, assert, and protect what is right for you. So I love that. I absolutely love that. And finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have renewal. Regeneration begins with decay. Yeah, so there you go. Again, we have this sense of like closing something out and starting something new. So there is a sort of reset that is needed here. Again, right, as I said, you sort of taking that role of the student, becoming open to a new way of doing things and approaching things, and sort of allowing life to guide you, starting to trust life more as well. Because I feel like you will know. You will know. But, okay, I'm going to leave it here, pile number 2. I feel like I have been rambling on for ages, and hopefully this rambling has been useful to some of you. So please do let me know how this reading resonated. You can leave me a comment down in the comment section, letting me know that you watched this pile and that it was definitely speaking to you. Or you can just leave me a thumbs up if that's easier and more convenient for you. And please also don't forget to subscribe if you would like me to keep doing these readings. I would love to keep doing these readings for you, but you know, I am doing them for you guys. So hopefully you do still want to see them, and subscribing, that, you know, that just lets me know that you do want to keep seeing them. So that's it from me. I am going to leave you here, pile number 2. But if you are not going to be watching any more piles, if I'm not going to be seeing you in any of the other piles, then please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon in one of my next readings. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the Santa Muerte tarot deck, which is over here, which we're going to tap into a bit later, because first we're going to start off with some oracle cards as per usual. So these oracle cards are going to paint a picture for us of what it is that you're currently experiencing, as the sort of preparation mode for what is to come. And hopefully once we get through this portion, you will be able to make sure that, you know, whether you're watching the right pile or not. And if this part doesn't resonate for you, then you know that you can switch to another pile and see whether that is speaking more to your circumstances. So let's see. Okay, we have lifting the veil, questioning everything, anything unaligned must go. This is the first card out. Okay. Next we have servant, with the light attribute being delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, and the shadow attribute being using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Okay. The center energy is gazelle, with the fire element there. Next we have number 27, which reduces down to 9 with walking away. There we go. And finally, we have full moon in Pisces with balance, spirituality, and practicality. So we have the full moon energy coming through again, which is kind of interesting. Okay. So I'm going to feel through these cards, and then I'm going to talk you through the energy that I'm picking up on. Okay, so pile number 3. What I'm picking up on here is that you may be in a space right now where you are sort of torn between staying where you are and moving into a new space. And I feel like the element of being torn is coming from a place of fear. The fear of change, the fear of the unknown, and just sort of losing what is safe, what is familiar, what is comfortable. But at the same time, I feel like the desire is starting to grow in you. And it may have been growing slowly but surely for some time. Now, the main reason why I'm saying it is because of this lifting the veil card of anything unaligned must go. Because I do feel like it's something that is sort of becoming more and more evident to you, where some of the things or some of the aspects in your life are not truly doing it for you, you know, that they may have just sort of served their purpose, or that they may not necessarily bring you that much joy, or just that you feel like you are not exactly where you want to be in your life, the way that it is at this time. And so there is this like deep spiritual urge that is sort of growing in you, especially because of this full moon in Pisces card. And the way that this says, okay, if this could focus, the way that this says balancing or balance spirituality and practicality. And Pisces as like a zodiacal archetype is very much spiritual. It is the most spiritual like zodiac sign archetypally from all of the signs. And it is very much like in touch with the divine and in touch with sort of the ethereal or the otherworldly, which is why like the veil between what is real or what is this sort of perceived reality around us versus what is sort of out there beyond our natural senses, beyond our reach. The veil between those two places for Pisces is very, very thin and very fluid, and they are more easily able to sort of dive into those other dimensions. And so there is a very deeply spiritual element here with this card. And that's why I feel like this is almost like this soul urge or something deeper that is speaking to you, that is wanting to be heard, and that is urging you to take this step towards, you know, changing your circumstances, or just alerting you to the fact that something is not quite right, something is not truly serving the purpose that it should, right? I mean, we also have this walking away card, which is telling me that you are, in one way, very much ready to close the gate on something. But at the same time, I feel like this card is perfectly depicting the energy that I'm picking up on from this situation here. You can see how she's still looking back on what she's trying to walk away from, right? So it's almost like this sense of hesitation, or being in this liminal space, or in this in-between space where you are still somewhat attached to where you have always been or what you have right now. And at the same time, you are trying to move away from that and trying to step into this new territory. But I feel like right now you're not really in either space. You are somewhere in between. And as I said, I feel like there is this fear that is keeping you stuck. And in some way, this is uncomfortable, but in some way, this is also extremely comfortable, if that makes any sense at all. with this Servant card here, this is mainly where I'm feeling this fear crop up. And with this Gazelle energy, this is where I'm feeling this comfort or wanting to stay in your comfort zone. So it's almost like you're not necessarily actually doing too much right now. You're not taking any drastic steps. You're very much still, like this Gazelle energy. I feel like you're very much still, but you are contemplating, or you're contemplating leaving the situation, right? Taking some action. But I feel like it's still very much on like an idea level at this time being, or for the time being. And so that's why I feel like this spirituality and practicality element is coming here, because that's sort of the two things that you are like going back and forth on. And I also feel like, especially with the Servant energy, the way it says, delight in serving others with a free and loving heart, I feel like there is something very much emotional that is sort of keeping you attached to the situation that you are in, even though you understand that it's not truly fulfilling for you. But there is something that you are having a very hard time letting go of, that you do feel a very strong attachment to. You know, it could be a relationship, it could be just this sort of role that you are used to being in and that you feel that you need to carry out, or that you feel very like diligent about. There is this element of like softness and of wanting to help other people, or wanting to be there for other people. Especially with this Pisces energy too. Pisces is known for their compassion and for their empathy and their, again, I'm just talking about archetypes here, right? Archetypally, they are the sort of altruistic sign, or the one who wants sort of to make the world a better place and to create unity and to create harmony and to you know, to help others. That's why they are like on the zodiacal wheel. That's why they are opposite the sign of Virgo, who is notorious for being the sort of servant, or, okay, that sounds bad, but you know, who is notoriously wanting to be in service, or of service to others. So there is this element of like helping others, or doing this, being in this space for others. So it's not just that you are sort of comfortable here, but I feel like that comfort is stemming from you just feeling very natural in that role, or that aspect of wanting to help others and wanting to serve others, that aspect coming very naturally to you. But I feel like there is this nagging at the same time at the back of your mind, because, or well, I should say it's coming from a deeper place, but I feel like it's nagging you in your sort of thoughts that something needs to change, or this is not actually fulfilling all of my needs, right? So there is some attachment here. But yeah, I don't know. It feels rather complex, this energy, I'm not going to lie. So hopefully I was able to, you know, get it across as well as I could. Hopefully it made sense. But let's see what more we can find out with the tarot cards. So if you could resonate, if anything from this section sounded familiar to you, then make sure to keep on watching, because hopefully we'll get some more clarity from the tarot cards. So first we're going to see what you are being guided to next. Then we're going to see what you can do to affect the outcome or the situation that you are being guided towards. And finally, we're going to see why you are being guided to this new place, or what is it all for. So let's see. Where are you being guided to? Okay, the first card out is the Empress in reverse and the Tower in reverse. It's crazy how many times we have gotten major arcana cards. Ooh, and the Devil is at the bottom of the deck here. But I do want one more card for the for where you are being led. Can we get one more card for pile 3 and where they are being led? Where is the universe guiding them? this one? We have the Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, actually, let's put it like this. All reversals. And the underlying energy is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. So let's see what you can do to affect the outcome. What can pile 3 do to affect the outcome of where they are being led? Okay. Interesting. We have the Three of Cups, which was upright, but it flew out in reverse. I'm going to show you the cards in a second. I'm going to get them all out. And we have Judgment at the bottom of the deck. Okay, can I get one more, please? What can pile... Okay, well, I guess we're getting 3. We have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and we have the King of Cups. So we're getting counterparts here, which is interesting again, yet again. And the Two of Cups is at the bottom. So there we go. I mean, we had the Devil here as well with the first section. So there is that attachment, but with the Two of Cups, there is definitely an element of like emotional, an emotional tie being present, which is very much controlling the situation. There is some deep-seated emotional connection that is a part of this, and why it's so difficult for you to walk away from this. And finally, let's see why you are being led to this next part of your journey, or why you are being guided, where you are being guided. Why is pile 3 being guided to this new place? What is the purpose of their next sort of chapter? Okay. We have the Hermit, which again flew out in reverse. Queen of Wands is at the bottom of the deck in reverse as well. But I would like one more card, please, for why pile 3 is being guided to where they're being guided. Okay, thank you. And we have the Ace of Cups. Okay. And the underlying energy is the Moon. So once again, we have major arcana energy coming through in almost every single pile, except for like the middle section here, but we still have a lot of major arcana cards on the table here, and as the underlying energy as well. So, okay, let's dive into these cards. Okay, starting off with these 3 cards over here first. So we have the Empress in reverse. I'm going to show you the cards more closely now. Okay. The Empress in reverse. This is what the Empress would look like upright. Okay. It also came out with the Tower in reverse. This is what the Tower would look like upright. And this is what it's like in reverse. Sorry if they are not like fully in focus. And finally, we have the Queen of Cups. This is what she would look like upright, but again, we got it in reverse. So these 3 cards are talking about where you are being guided next, or where you are being led to. Now, I do have to say that the Empress and the Queen of Cups are, well, first of all, they're both very feminine energy, right? The Queen of Cups is a part of the Empress energy, because the Empress is made up of all of the queens in the court card system. So it's very, very feminine, and it's very much like nurturing and caring and loving. But because we are getting this energy in reverse, I feel like there is almost this, how should I say it? There's almost this distancing that is going to be happening with like your emotional tie, or like what it is that you feel so deeply attached to. Remember, again, we had the devil energy as the underlying energy for both the Tower and the Empress, right? So whatever this attachment is, it is keeping you stuck. Whatever this attachment is, it has too much power and control over your life and over your decisions. And so I feel like the place that you are guided to next is a place where you sort of become a bit more selfish. And I know that it sounds like a very bad word, but in truth, it's something that you sort of need, because I feel like you have been putting other people's needs ahead of your own in a too like drastic manner, meaning that you have acted out of a place of like wanting to look out for other people, wanting to take care of other people, but you haven't really, taken care of your own needs in the process as well as you maybe could have. And so your own needs have been neglected, and that's why you are finding yourself in this place where you are not 100% happy with where you are. That's why you are feeling this sense of like, the sense of not really being fulfilled, not really being content. And we have the Tower in reverse here. Now the Tower in reverse is telling me that the shift is going to be rather major, but I feel like because it's coming out in reverse, it's not going to be one that like shakes your life or is like this major crumbling down of a reality. It's something that most likely you will either sort of see coming, or it's something that you instigate yourself, something that you decide to change, or and the reason why I feel like it's coming out as a Tower card is because it may come as a shock to other people, but I feel like it's something that that you need to do for yourself, because you need to get in contact or in touch with this energy here, with this Queen of Cups energy, where you are starting to sort of listen to your own needs more and leave behind this energy of being the caretaker of other people. And I'm not saying that you can't look out for other people, or you can't support them or be there for the people that you care about, but I feel like just the capacity that you do that with, like, that sort of needs to change, right? Because again, I feel like you are sort of suffering as a result of that. There's too much being sacrificed from your own well-being that I feel like is happening here. And that's why all of these cards are coming out in reverse. Because the thing with the Empress, right, and I'm going to move on in a second, but I just want to add that the thing with the Empress is that she can only be abundant and nurturing and giving and loving when she is full and whole herself. But when she is in a space like this, right, where her own needs are not being met, where her own cup is not full, she can't really give. She can't really take care of other people because she doesn't have anything to give of herself. And so I feel like this shift, again, as I said, could be rather drastic for other people. It may come as a bit of a shock. But I do see a sense of like withdrawing of attention or withdrawing of energy happening. And again, it is a very, very necessary thing because of the way that it is keeping you from having your own needs met. So before we move on to the other cards, just one last thing that I'm feeling here with these cards is that I feel like with the Tower in reverse, the thing that may push you over the edge of like finally taking the steps to leave a situation behind or set yourself free from this attachment that you are in, right? From this place where you are currently at, sort of in this in-between state. It could be that there is a situation, especially in the form of another person who, or it may even be several people. It might not be necessarily one specific person. But I just feel like there are going to be certain emotions evoked in you that make you feel like someone or some people or some situation is asking too much of you. This is what I feel with this the Queen of Cups in reverse. Like someone is sort of taking advantage or using your goodness, the goodness of your heart, and using it for their own like self-serving purposes. And I also feel like I just want to show you, when this card is upright, you can see how she is presenting her heart. She's holding that heart in the palm of her hands and she's giving it, she's offering it up, right? But I feel like this is almost this energy of like someone asking too much of you, and so you just feel like, you know, like you've had enough and you want to break down that construct because it's not fair, and because you may feel like you are not actually getting that much back. And this is actually perfectly taking me to the other set of cards that we're going to be going through now. So these cards are specifically talking about what you can do to affect the outcome of where you are being led, right? And we have the Three of Cups in reverse as the first card out. This is what the Three of Cups would look like upright. And we also got these three cards together. So we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the Seven of Pentacles, and we have the King of Cups. Now, what I find very interesting, first and foremost, is that as I was talking about, you know, you noticing that maybe you are not necessarily getting that much back. We have this Three of Cups in reverse, and that's like the first thing that popped into my head when I saw this card. Because the Three of Cups upright is a card of celebration. It's a card of coming together with the people that you love, enjoying each other's company, celebrating your success, celebrating your union, just sort of having a good time, being very carefree and being in the moment and in that emotion and not really thinking about anything else. But when it's coming out in reverse, it's more so like a shadowy energy that I'm feeling with this card. It's more so like a one-sided thing, or where like one person is gaining a lot more from this arrangement or from this situation than the other person or other people are. Again, take it as it resonates, but I just feel like there is some sort of imbalance here. And then, interestingly enough, we have these Two Pentacle cards. The Two of Pentacles with the Seven of Pentacles, I feel is talking about needing to really weigh up. And I love that this card is actually like him counting, right? Or weighing up the benefits of where you are right now, or this attachment that you are part of, and how much you are truly benefiting from it. Now, the one thing that I'm also finding very interesting is that, actually, you know what, I'm gonna word it in a better way before I get to the interesting point. But this two of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles are making me feel of like needing to weigh up whether what you are investing in this situation, what you are sacrificing in this situation, is actually giving you back the sort of the same amount, or something that would justify you putting that much energy into it, right? Because there needs to be a balance here with the Two of Pentacles. There needs to be a sort of like equality or flow happening. And so with the Seven of Pentacles, this is an opportunity for you to really think about that, to really like weigh up the pros and cons, right? Go very like, or handle the situation in a very practical manner. Again, we have this card, right? That is reminding you to bring in the practical element as well, not just, you know, sit in those emotions and mull them over and you know, be in that like spiritual space, which is important as well, don't get me wrong, but in the end, like some actual steps needs to be taken. And the interesting part that I was feeling with these cards is that with the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, in between these two cards is the energy of the Five of Pentacles, right? If you take 2 from 7, you get 5. And the Five of Pentacles, as you may or may not know, the Five of Pentacles is an energy of feeling lack, of feeling like you are sort of left out in the cold, left to fend for yourself. There is no help around. There is no support. Things are just sort of dreary and difficult, and you can't really, you know, find a way out. So I find it very interesting that that's what is coming out over here. Now, I'm not saying that your situation, whatever it is, and whatever sort of attachment that you feel is as sort of drastic as that you are not getting anything back. I just feel like it might not be very equal or very balanced. And that's something that I feel like Spirit is trying to sort of force your attention to over here, right? And we also have this King of Cups. Now, I feel like this is very clearly talking about you, in the sense that this is you needing to start looking out for your own needs, right? He is actually drinking from the cup himself, right? And you can see how the heart on his chest is so much smaller than what she is offering. So I just feel like I'm actually seeing this King of Cups in two ways. I feel like what you can do is, as I said, focus on your own needs first, because right now your own needs are very much in need of attention. So this is you sort of needing to focus on you, and before you hand out any more of your energy, of your resources, of your help, or whatever it is that you are sacrificing in this situation, before you do any more of that, it's very important to turn the focus on yourself. But at the same time, what I'm feeling is, because we also remember we had the Two of Cups as the underlying energy for this portion. So this could represent this other individual who is part of this attachment that you have, or this emotional involvement. And they could be the individual representing who you are attached to, or just representing the sort of the situation where you are giving a lot of yourself or from yourself. And even though this is a masculine energy, it doesn't have to be male. But yeah, I just feel like this is representative of that recipient of your emotional attachment. And so you can see how, again, they are looking after their own needs, right? They are focusing on fulfilling their own emotional cup, and they are keeping their own emotions right close to their chest. So again, as a contrast, this is you, right? This is you offering your heart, but because this is talking about the energy that you are being put into next, or that you are being led to, this is that sort of somewhat drastic change of like stopping that self-sacrificial energy and really focusing on yourself a bit more. Because I feel like it is very, very, very much needed. But anyway, so yeah, this is that energy of what you can do to affect this situation. And finally, we have these two cards over here with the Hermit in reverse. Upright, this is what he would look like. And we also have the Ace of Cups. So again, it's interesting how you are getting all Cups cards in each pile. So there is definitely a very significant emotional tie that is present here, and that is very much guiding your decisions and actions. But focusing on these two cards here, the reason why you are being led into this place where things are sort of quite dramatically or quite drastically turned upside down, or where you are being sort of pushed over the edge to make some necessary changes, is because with the Hermit in reverse, this situation that you are in right now is not necessarily very aligned with you and with your true desires, right? This Ace of Cups. Again, this emotional cup of needs being fulfilled that I feel like is lacking in this situation that you are in. Because again, remember, we had this card as the first card out, which says anything unaligned must go. And that's what the universe is trying to make happen for you, right? They're trying to help you get rid of the things that are not actually serving you, but you may have a difficult time maybe even like seeing the things that aren't serving you because of this emotional attachment that is there. And that's what sort of brings me to the underlying energy as well with the moon. Because the moon is one of those very tricky energies where you are not seeing things clearly, and you are not being shown things in a very straightforward manner either. This is a very sort of hazy and a very confusing energy. There is a lot of shadow to this energy as well. Things are appearing as one thing, but in reality and in daylight, they may turn out to be something completely different. So this is why this energy is sort of reminding you that you may not be seeing things with full clarity at this time. And so that's why it's very important to like sit with your emotions and really tap into what it is that you're feeling, what it is that is cropping up within you, right? That is urging you to make this shift, this change, and really focus on what would lead you to where you want to go. And there is also an element of trust here as well, because again, as I said, with the Moon card, things are not as apparent. So in a way, you have to rely on your intuition and on your sort of instincts and things that are stemming from like a deeper side of you to guide you through this somewhat like hazy or dark path, because you can't see things very clearly, right? So you just have to go by other things to guide you, your other senses. So there is a sense of trust that is required here, meaning that you are not going to be able to see necessarily where it is that you are going or what is going to be waiting for you when you get there. And even with these cards as well, even with these cards as well, you know, this is not like a straightforward answer of what you are going to be, where you're going to be taken, because we have the Tower card here, and the Tower card is always a card that incorporates an element of surprise or something that you cannot foresee. Now, as I said, it doesn't feel that drastic or that like extreme because it's coming out in reverse. And that tells me that, again, there is an element of you instigating that change, or you sort of being the one to take some steps that are going to break this dynamic a bit. But at the same time, I feel like after breaking that dynamic, that is something that is not for you to know, like exactly what is going to be happening for you or what you're going to find on the other side. But because of all of this, all of this Cups energy here, and also this Hermit energy, I do feel like this is something that is much more in tune with your soul and with what your heart is truly yearning for, where that sort of sense of fulfillment is going to come from, right? And with the Hermit as well, like the Hermit is actually such a reassuring card, because the Hermit indicates that there is actually a knowing within you that can guide you to where you need to go. And you just need to sort of access it. You need to tap into it and really like listen to what your sort of inner self is trying to tell you, outside of all of that distraction and all of that, all of this like commitment or this attachment that is here, that is keeping you where you are. So yeah, I feel like some massive like spiritual and soulful breakthroughs are trying to come through for you, and I feel like they will, that are going to urge you to shake some things up or change some things around and break out of some long-standing like patterns or situations that are going to like pretty much set you free. But yeah, it is going to be a bit of a roller coaster. I do feel that. So anyway, I hope that at least this Tower in reverse energy is somewhat of a consolation for you, that, you know, it's going to be something that you can like somewhat manage, or it's not going to be that big of a blow or that big of a drastic shift for you. I just feel like it's something that is going to sort of stem from inside of you. This need to like start shifting things around. You are not there yet, but I feel like it's something that is going to gradually start building up and creeping up more and more and more. But anyway, that's the main reading part, and hopefully, because we do have all of this Pisces energy here with the moon and this Pisces card, and it's very much like this Neptunian hazy energy that I'm picking up on here. Hopefully it still made sense to you and the message came across, but I'm going to close the reading out with some oracle card messages as well, so we could give you some advice on this journey. This is the Lantern Oracle, and let's see what Spirit wants to say to you as like last pieces of advice or guidance. So what guidance do you have for pile number 3 regarding their reading? What guidance do you have for pile number 3 regarding their reading? Can we get a few pieces of advice for pile number 3? Oh, something turned over. Okay, we have number 5, the unknown, knowing the unknown. I love this for you. Because we were talking about the unknown, but also I love that it says knowing the unknown, because again, it tells me that it's not actually as scary, this transformation or this shift into some new territory that you're going, even though you may not be able to comprehend it or make full sense of it or see it. I feel like, as I said, with this Hermit energy, right? I feel like this is the thing that is helping you over here. That you actually already know what you need to do and where you need to go. It's just not, this information hasn't risen to your sort of rational brain. It hasn't come to your full consciousness yet, but it's there, and it just sort of needs to be allowed to come forth and guide you. But again, it's stemming from like a deeper knowing. So yeah, I love that this card came out for you. And we also have number 18, radical honesty. To believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. I'm going to read that again for you because I feel like this is very powerful. Radical honesty. To believe in the facade is to suffocate in the armor of alienation, self-defeat, and self-denial. Yeah, so I feel like this is the facade, right? And that's why you are lifting the veil. That's why this shift is happening. Can we get one more piece of advice, please, for pile number 3? One more piece of advice, please, for pile number 3. Thank you. Okay. We have number 42, which reduces down to 6, with home. May your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. Again, I love that for you because this is just such a safe and loving and supportive energy. And again, it brings me back to this Hermit energy and the Ace of Cups energy, which sort of tells me that everything that you need is actually already there inside of you. It just sort of is waiting for you to tap into it. And also we have number 30 with voice. You are here to be known, so speak and be seen. Right? So a lot of these messages are asking you to sort of come out of hiding and to take the role of the lead character in your own life, because right now, especially with the servant energy, I feel like you are very much in a space where you are in like a supporting role of someone else's story. You are helping them, live out the best life that they can live out. And again, it's a noble thing. It's a very loving, very supportive energy that I feel that you are giving here. But it's not truly what you are supposed to be doing with your life. That's what I feel like, if I'm, if I can say it that sort of honestly. Hopefully you can, tap into that energy and take some time off, because again, I feel like you are actually given that space to sit with your emotions and to really tap into what is trying to come through for you, what is trying to guide you to your next steps that would take you to this necessary shift that needs to happen. And I really hope that you can sort of take the space and really be in that and let that information surface for you, so that you could get out of this liminal space where you are just sort of, you're not really in one reality anymore, because you have outlived it, or you have, it's served its purpose and you don't need to be there anymore. But at the same time, you're not in that next chapter either, because there is some apprehension and there are still things that are sort of holding you back, right? You haven't stepped through the veil here. You haven't fully closed the gates yet. So yeah, Interesting. But I'm gonna leave it here, pile number 3. I feel like your reading has probably been the longest of all of the readings so far, and I do apologize, but as I said, this information is very, very big, and it feels cosmic, and it feels like soul level deep. So hopefully this spoke to you. Hopefully you got something useful from this. If you did, please do let me know. I would love to hear from you. And you know, if you don't want to leave me a comment, you can give me a thumbs up just to let me know that this resonated. And also, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. I would love to have you stick around, and you know, that would also let me know that you want me to keep making these videos for you. So if you want to see more readings from me, make sure to subscribe. Okay, but that's it. Thank you so much for being here. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you in one of my next readings very soon. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. So you chose this Tarot de Luz tarot deck, and we are going to be getting into it in a second. We are just going to start with the underlying energy, or the foundational energy first, which is going to basically just give us an understanding of where you are at right now and what sort of energy you are in that is actually preparing you for what is to come. So with these oracle cards, hopefully you will be able to make sure that you are actually watching the right pile. So yeah, and if this part doesn't resonate for you at all, then you know that this is not the right pile, and you can just switch to another pile. But let's see. We have Earth Pulsing, Pulse of the Mother, Slow Down, Time in Nature as the first card for you. Okay. We also have Damsel, with the light attributes being understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself, and shadow attributes being waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction by romantic illusion. This is a very bright card, so hopefully you'll be able to see it okay. We have the Crow. If this would focus. Sorry, it's somewhat annoying. It doesn't really want to focus that much. Okay, there we go. So this is the Crow. We also have number 4 with Happy Family. Okay. And finally, we have Full Moon in Cancer, a personal issue reaches resolution. Now it is actually official, because we have gotten full moon cards for every single pile, which is somewhat crazy because, as I said at the beginning, today, as I am filming this, it is the full moon in Gemini energy that we are in right now. So yeah, that's interesting. But anyway, let me tap into these cards and see what I am picking up on for you, my beautiful pile number 4. I have to admit, with all of these cards, I am feeling a rather torn energy, or there is somewhat of a discrepancy between what I'm picking up on from these cards. On the one hand, I'm feeling somewhat of an unsure or insecure energy that is sort of requiring some emotional support, or just like, you know, the taking the time to sit with what it is that is going on within you, and really sort of sifting through these emotions or the things that are just sort of cropping up in you. And at the same time, I feel like there is an energy of being very much invested in things or situations, or just like putting a lot of yourself into handling certain situations. And I don't know how to say it, but I'm almost feeling like there is an energy of you knowing how to help other people and how to be there for other people or help other people out, especially like people that you care about, right? People that are important to you, that you love and cherish and you very much care about. But then at the same time, when it comes to the things that are happening inside of you, all of these emotions and these feelings that are cropping up that I was speaking about, I feel like there is this feeling of not really knowing what to do with them, or not really knowing what to do with yourself. So it's very, as I said, it feels very torn, or it's just very separate energy. And at the core of this, or in the center of all of this energy, is this crow energy. And I mean, the crow is usually an energy of like mysticism, or almost like supernatural, or being in touch with some sort of wisdom and information that is not really apparent, that comes from like more mystical sources. So this is almost like a high priestessy or magician-y energy that is able to access certain divine wisdom or divine information. So more so it's like the high priestess energy from tarot, if you are familiar with that. So that's what I'm feeling with this crow energy. That is at the center of your reading. It's like, how should I say it? It's almost like, because you can see how the crow is like holding on to, or sitting on top of this whirl of different colors, right? It almost looks like a pearl or like a ball of light. What I find interesting is that the crow is sitting on top of it and looking elsewhere, you know? It's like they are sitting on top of all of this beautiful divine information, this light, this inspiration, this magical energy, but they are not really using it, right? They are like focusing on something else. And so I feel like you have this information, you have the all of this beautiful magical energy that is at your disposal, that would actually help you to make sense of the things that you are experiencing or that are cropping up within you, right? That you, for some reason, I feel like don't really know what to do with, or they seem somewhat overwhelming, or like they are making you feel somewhat helpless, with this damsel energy especially, right? I feel like this energy is there for you and it's available to you, but you are not using it for some reason. And I feel like you are more so focused on this energy here, which is, again, this happy family and like full moon in Cancer energy, with like a personal issue reaches resolution. And I feel like this personal issue is again tied to the people that you love, that are close to you, and not necessarily you yourself, because of this Cancer archetype energy. And Cancer, again, as an archetype in astrology, is a sign of nurturing, is a sign of taking care, is a sign of, like, it's the sign of the mother, basically, where the Capricorn sign is, or the Capricorn archetype is more so the father archetype. Cancer is the mother archetype. And so it's interesting that we also have Pulse of the Mother in this card too. So the mother aspect is coming through in two places. So that's where I feel like most of your focus is at right now. Like on your family or on your children, on your partner, your relationship, or your parents, or whatever like family means to you, or whatever you consider to be your closest circle, the people that mean the most to you. Your focus seems to very much be on them and sort of handling situations for them, but it's like it's not leaving that much resource for you to actually deal with whatever it is that you are personally experiencing and the feelings and things that are cropping up for you. And so I feel like your focus is very much like all over the place, and you are very torn between trying to like do everything or trying to handle everything, and at the same time like looking after yourself. And I feel like that's why this like slow down time in nature card is here, because right now you may not necessarily be giving yourself that much time to slow down or to be in this emotional space, because I feel like it is somewhat overwhelming. Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know whether this made sense to you. Hopefully it did. But I just feel you sort of being somewhat stuck in this position. Yeah, just very focused on the things that are happening around you, and keeping very busy and doing a lot of things that need to be done and taking care of stuff and taking care of people. But there is this reluctancy to like look at what is happening within you, or these feelings that are cropping up for you. There is a reluctancy here. But let's move on to the tarot portion, because hopefully, you know, these cards will give us some more clear understanding of this energy that we are dealing with, and where you are being sort of guided next. Because this feels very, again, like very mystical and very like elusive. So hopefully we can get some more clarity from these tarot cards. But if at any point you felt like this situation was talking about you, or this reminded you of what you are currently experiencing, then make sure to keep on watching, because this could be the reading for you. But let's see first and foremost where you are being guided next, what you can do to affect this situation or the outcome of where you are being guided, and finally, why you are being led to this place. What is the whole purpose of it? So let's see, where are you being guided, my beautiful pile number 4? Okay, we have the first card out, which is the Queen of Cups coming out in reverse. I'm having flashbacks. Oh, and the Hermit. Okay, more flashbacks. So, can we get some more cards, please? Can we get more cards for pile number 4? It's actually somewhat reminding me of like the previous pile. Not gonna lie, I do feel some similarities. So if you were drawn between, or if you felt drawn between both of those piles, or to both of those piles. Sorry, I'm already like spacing out, so please, you know, try not to mind that too much. It's been a long day. But anyway, if you felt drawn to that pile too, then I do recommend that you watch pile number 3, because there may be something there for you as well. But anyway, let's keep going. Where is pile 4 being guided? Can I get some more cards, please? Where is pile 4 being guided next? Where's pile 4 guided? Can you give me a few more cards? Okay, thank you. Oh, wow. Okay, we got 4. So we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. The Sun is here too. Okay, let me just do it this way. And we have the Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay, I'm going to show you all the cards afterwards, don't you worry. The underlying energy is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, now what can pile 4 do to affect the situation? Okay, so these kind of came out in reverse, I guess. So we have the 9 of Cups in reverse and the King of Swords upright, and the 9 of Wands is at the bottom. Do I need one more? Yeah, let's go for one more. Can I get one more card for what pile 4 needs to do, or what they can do to affect the outcome of where they are being guided? Thank you. Okay, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. Quite a lot of reversals, and the Knight of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. There we go. Okay, and finally, why are you being guided to the place that you're being guided to? What is the purpose of this next chapter that pile 4 is being led to? Okay. We have the 3 of Swords, the 10 of Wands, and we have the World at the bottom of the deck, but let's see if we can get one more card. Can we get one more card, please, for why pile 4 is being led to this? Okay, I guess you're getting 3 more cards. Okay, so... Oh, and you did get the World as well. Okay, so we have the 6 of Pentacles reversed, the 6 of Wands, and the World. Okay, interesting. So we have a lot to go through. And the underlying energy is the 7 of Swords reversed. It's a massive bunny. This is what it would look like upright, but you got it in reverse. So, okay, let's dive into these cards here. So let's dive right into this because we have a lot to go through. So starting with the first portion of cards, which is talking about where you are being guided to from this energy. The first card that we have is the Queen of Cups in reverse. I'm going to show you the Queen of Cups upright so you would be able to see the illustration a bit better. This is how she came out. And then these 3 cards came out together. So we have the Sun. Okay, it doesn't really want to focus. Anyway, the Sun. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Again, this is what the Knight of Wands would look like upright. But this is how he came out. And then finally, we have the Ace of Cups, which came out in reverse. This is what it looks like upright. And this is how it came out. Okay, so the way that I'm seeing this is where you are being led to, pile number 4. And I know that this may be, I'm already feeling that this is more of a heavy reading because of especially because of the last cards here that are explaining the reason, but we are going to get there in a bit. So I feel like the place where you're going to be led to is a place that somewhat like breaks you down, but I don't want you to be alarmed or be afraid of what that means. It just sort of, it's telling me that it's breaking down some of these emotional barriers that have kept you from actually acknowledging what it is that you are feeling. This is the energy that is like ultimately pushing you to keep yourself so busy and active so that you wouldn't have to sit in these emotions that you yourself are feeling. But with the Queen of Cups coming out in reverse over here, it's clear to me that there needs to be this space where you actually pay attention to what you are feeling. There needs to be this end to running away from these things that are trying to get your attention. But I can see that it's something that causes you a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain. Or at least that's how you perceive these things to be, right? That they are very, very uncomfortable. But with the sun coming out, the sun is a card of illumination. The sun is a card of just seeing things extremely clearly, something being almost spotlighted, an aspect being so fully illuminated that it sort of becomes the focal point. And so I feel like because the sun came out with these two cards here, what is being illuminated is these unresolved feelings that you have tried to run away from. And because the Ace of Cups is coming out in reverse, this is something that I feel like is more so bringing these heavy emotions and these difficult emotions. It's not something that is like making you feel all happy and lit up and all of those things, right? This is more talking about those like deep and heavy emotions that haven't really been resolved. And with the Knight of Wands is an energy of just wanting to sort of spontaneously and impulsively run off in new directions, right? The Knight of Wands wants to explore. This is Sagittarius energy. The Knight of Wands wants to go off, be free, and just sort of act based on a whim of where their heart is leading them to next, or where they feel like they want to go next. Not even heart, sorry, I should rephrase, because the Knight of Wands more so is acting off of desire, right? That fire within, not so much the emotional point. But because it's coming out with the Ace of Cups, which is very much talking about emotions, that's why I feel like the heart element comes into it. Because of this trying to escape what it is that you're feeling. And so I feel like the Sun card is coming out to shine light on the ways that you have tried to bypass some more heavy and difficult emotions that really do need to be worked through, because they are sort of shutting you down in a way, or they're shutting an aspect of you down. And it's not really allowing you to function properly. Now, looking at these three cards here, which are talking about what you can do to affect the outcome of where this is that you are being led, right? And I can see that this is uncomfortable, especially with the Queen of Cups being the first card out and the sort of the focal energy here. The Queen of Cups in reverse is an energy of like major discomfort or being put out of your comfort zone. Because right now, again, with this crow energy, I feel like you are able to sort of sit on this information, sit on all of this like magic, and it may be a very comfortable for you, because again, you are able to be in this like mental energy, or this mentally driven energy, because this is air element right here. This is the air element that this crow symbolizes. And the reason why I keep saying that this energy that you are sitting on top of is magic is because it truly is. And I feel like it's the key to breaking down certain barriers that are actually keeping you from like fully feeling certain emotions, or fully allowing yourself to enjoy your life and enjoy everything that you have and be fully present in all of these relationships, because of, again, these things that you are trying to shove aside, these things that you are not trying to, or you are trying not to feel. Again, with the Queen of Cups, right? Queen of Cups in reverse. This is the energy that you are being led to. And as I said, it's the key. It's actually the key of like taking you to a more serious sense of fulfillment, but it requires you to actually access that magic, to open the floodgates of emotion and really feel it, instead of trying to, as I said, bypass it. And I don't want this to sound like a judgment in any sort of way, because trust me, I know how difficult it is to actually allow yourself to feel these more dense and heavy emotions. It's not easy, but I feel like it's a major part of setting yourself free. Now, we have these 3 cards that I was sort of starting to talk about, but then I sort of got sidetracked a bit. Now, we have the 9 of Cups coming out in reverse as the first card. This is what the 9 of Cups looks like upright. We also got the King of Swords. If it would focus again. So the King of Swords. And finally we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. Now, the 5 of Cups is like the first indication of some heavy energy being present, because the 5 of Cups is a card of grief. It's a card of loss, and it's a card of dealing with very difficult emotions that are residual of something very like traumatizing happening, or it usually indicates that there has been a very meaningful loss, right? Because that sort of grief has stayed with you. And we have the 9 of Cups here too, as it's coming out in reverse. And I feel like both of these cards are just talking of like major dissatisfaction, or something just not feeling fully satisfying, right? The 9 of Cups, which is usually a card of such fulfillment and enjoyment and satisfaction, when it comes out in reverse, I feel like it's not there, it's lacking. And it's because of this 5 of Cups energy here, which is sort of, again, keeping those heavy emotions with you, even if they are not at the forefront of your mind. And, you know, even though you were able to function and do all of these other things that you are clearly focusing on, I feel like they are there. And facing those is actually a very important part of getting rid of those, right? There is also another element here, which is that in between the 9 and the 5 of Cups, we have the 4 of Cups. Because if you take away 5 from the 9, we have 4. And 4 of Cups is a card of apathy. It's a card of just not really being motivated or stimulated by anything. Just feeling very like fed up, and also at the same time numb. Right? And that's something that can happen when we experience loss, when we experience difficult emotions. But we have this King of Swords here. And the King of Swords is one of very like strict and concrete action. Because the King of Swords is not driven by their emotion. They are driven by their logic. They are driven by what they know. And so the King of Swords, out of all of the other court cards, has the easiest time when they are making decisions of taking emotion out of it and just doing what needs to be done, taking charge, taking control, and like doing what is the best plan, what is the best idea, what would most efficiently and effectively get you to the end result. The King of Swords, very much like the Queen of Swords, who is the counterpart to the King, is an energy of sort of seeing things clearly and seeing things rationally and focusing on sort of the bigger picture. This is a card of Aquarius. So again, it's one of those air sign air signs. And we also had this air sign element here with the crow. So clearly air energy is rather prominent here, but at the same time, I feel like in this instance, because this is something that you can do to affect the situation, right? I feel like in this instance, it's just sort of saying that it would be best or most prudent if you were to just focus on like what needs to be done, rather than trying to, you know, maneuver your way out of feeling these heavy emotions with the Five of Cups. Right? Because, and especially with the Nine of Cups here being 2, like this could be just trying to find like easy or very quick solutions that would make you feel good in the moment, but that don't ultimately deal with the core issue, right? Just some sort of like distractions that help you to, again, numb the pain, but that are in the long run actually doing more harm. So I feel like the best way for you to handle this situation is to just sort of look at what needs to be looked at, and just know that you have the strength to go through it. And what I find interesting as well is that when you look at this card here, the king is actually looking towards the sun, right? The sun, which we have over here, which is this energy of illuminating the truth, illuminating what needs to be seen. So yeah, I find that this message is somewhat very clear in that sense, of just focusing on the thing that needs to be addressed, right? Just staying strong in the midst of all of that, which I know is easier said than done. But with the King of Swords being here, which is a very, very strong energy, don't get me wrong, it's telling me that you have what it takes to get through this. Again, remember with this crow energy, you have this magic, you have this information that is accessible within you, this like high priestess energy. And so you actually know very, very well what you need to do, or how to best get through this energy and this situation, but it needs your sort of conscious decision to do that. And that would really help you through this energy that I feel like the universe is sort of putting you in no matter what. Again, I know it sounds a bit more harsh, but I do feel like it's ultimately for your own good, because we have all of these cards over here, which are talking about the reason why you are being led to this place, right? And as I was saying, I can see very clearly here that this is some heavy, heavy stuff that you are dealing with. And there is a sense of grief or sadness that is weighing heavy on you, because we have the Three of Swords here, which came out as the first card. And we also have the Ten of Wands, which is another card of like heaviness and being very, very much weighed down. And so with these two cards coming out together, it's clear that whatever has happened, right? We have two cards of like very severe, very, very serious emotional distress and pain and loss and grief. We have both the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords. So this is very indicative of what it is that you are sort of trying to get away from. And again, I'm not blaming you. I'm not judging you. I'm not criticizing you in any way. And hopefully these messages are not coming across that way either. Because I can understand and I can see how heavy it is. But also it's like almost like all the more reason to free yourself from it, because it's just, I can feel like it's crushing you almost. So yeah, I completely empathize with you, by the way, pile number 4. But now that we have seen where all of this heaviness is coming from, we can also see why the universe is trying to push you to face it, because we have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which is, you know, in upright position, this is what the Six of Pentacles looks like. We also have the Six of Wands, which came out upright. And we have the World, which is a card of Saturn. And another one of those like rather major cards, because it is part of major arcana first and foremost, but because this is the last card of the major arcana. So this is like the ultimate end. And again, I feel like with the Six of Pentacles coming out in reverse over here, this is like you not fully being able to receive support and give like emotionally to the extent that you otherwise could. So again, I feel like this is all stemming from this block, right? This block of like heavy emotions that are sort of sitting with you. So in a way, it's almost like it's keeping you from fully participating in life and fully, you know, enjoying it for what it is. And with the Six of Wands and the World, it's like the universe is trying to push you over the sort of the finish line, or push you to a place where those emotions don't have that much power over you anymore, where you can set yourself free and where you could break through and finally like be a part of the world again in a more wholesome way. And again, I'm not trying to say that you are not wholesome now, but it's just that these emotions that are weighing so heavily on you, they seem to be affecting you in a very serious manner. And it's just sort of, it's not necessary for you to be carrying those emotions with you. Because at the bottom of the deck, right, remember, we have the Seven of Swords, which is coming out in reverse. The Seven of Swords, when it's coming out upright, is an energy of like self-sabotage and not really doing the best thing, or, you know, trying to sneak past some things, or this is that like trickster, sneaky behavior or energy that is not actually serving your best interest. So with it coming out in reverse, I feel like the universe is sending a very clear message that you can actually rid yourself of this energy and set yourself free, so that you wouldn't be like sabotaging yourself, right, by carrying those emotions with you and by almost prolonging that pain or that hurt. So this is just an energy of like needing to set yourself free from the hold that this pain has on you still. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave it here with these tarot cards, because this pretty much sums up everything that we have been talking about, and I don't want to get repetitive. But hopefully, you know, you can understand why this is happening and why you are maybe pushed into this space, as uncomfortable as it may be. But yeah, I feel like in order for you to truly actually let in the support and the help that is around you and the love, and for you to really feel it as deeply as you could, there needs to be the slowing down and this like facing of these things. So yeah, I want to close this reading out with some oracle cards as well. This is the Lantern Oracle. So let's see if we can get the universe to give you some advice, some last pieces of advice for pile number 4 and their reading. Can we get some advice for pile number 4 regarding their reading? Okay, perfect. We got exactly 2. Ooh, I love it. At the bottom of the deck, we have renewal with number 27, which says regeneration begins with decay. Okay, I feel like this is very apt and maybe even a bit too much on the nose, but yeah, I feel like this just beautifully reiterates how important it is to, you know, actually let endings happen and really work through it, because that's what brings in the new beginning, right? Okay, hang on a second. Sorry about that. My TV was about to shut itself off. So anyway, yeah, so I feel like the underlying energy is pretty on the nose. Okay, we have, yeah, this is beautiful. We have number 28, moving forward. The first step is taken within our stillness. Oh my God. This is the most perfect message. Like, honestly, I just want to show you. This is the most perfect message that I feel like we could have gotten. And I love that she's walking towards the sun and that we have an image of, it looks like the shadow of an eagle. But just, I love that it's a bird that is depicted on this card as well, because of this crow energy here. So yeah, I'm going to read it once again because I feel like it's such a powerful message. Moving forward, the first step is taken within our stillness. And I feel like that's exactly that stillness that you are being led to. Okay, and I feel like the other card that is the most perfect that you could have gotten is right here. We have number 8, weeping wound. You are not your wounds. I want you to read it again. You are not your wounds. So these painful emotions that are still with you, they do not define you. And when you look at them and when you sit with them, it doesn't mean that you are going to take them on as like permanent parts of you. It doesn't mean that they are going to stick with you if you allow yourself to feel them. They are going to be passing through. And yeah, I feel like I don't even have to say anything other than that, because I feel like these oracle cards are so incredibly powerful and they are so perfect for this reading that I don't even have to say anything other than that. I just want you to remember this underlying energy of renewal, because this is exactly what I feel like you need to hear at this time. And sort of just remind yourself, because it's easy to forget when we are in the emotions of loss, right? Or in the emotions of grief. Whenever we lose something, whenever something is like taken from us, or whenever we feel like something is taken from us, we tend to forget that there are always new beginnings with every single loss. There is always something new that comes about. Even if it doesn't happen instantaneously, there is always a new beginning around the corner. So I hope that lets you sort of take in this message a bit more easily. Okay. But I'm going to leave it here, pile number 4. I feel like your reading was just so massive and so powerful and so profound that I hope that it really did like speak to you on a deeper level. And I hope that these messages that came through are offering you some sort of support, because I understand that this is very, very difficult what you are going through. And I truly, truly send my love your way. But yeah, I would love to know if this spoke to you. You don't have to get into any details, obviously, if you don't want to, but if you can just let me know that you watched this pile and that this was your message, I would really appreciate it. And also you can just give me a thumbs up. That would help me out too. And of course, if you want to see more readings from me, then don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't done that already. That would just, you know, keep me doing these readings. And just, you know, let me know that someone is truly needing them. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. And if I don't see you in any of the other piles, then please take care of yourself, pile 4. And I am truly wishing you all the best. And I hope that you know that, you know, you are held and you are protected and you are being looked out for and taken care of. And this is all happening for your highest good, even if it feels uncomfortable in the process, okay? So I am so thankful that you watched this reading and that you were here with me. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.